Today I got this old Greco Les Paul on my table, and it's got some pretty serious dents in the neck, so I'm going to show you how you can fill those with some pretty basic stuff, and it actually doesn't require that much skill. So I'm Dave with Stringing It Together, and let's dive in. So here's the dents I'm going to be filling in today. So I got 3 there, there's another one there I'm going to fill in. Some of them I'm going to have to add some color to it. So basically I put some acetone, which is this stuff here, in a little jar, and you have to be careful with that because it will actually eat the finish, which is why we're using it for this job. And then I didn't have the exact red color. I'm just trying to match it with what I've got here. So I'm just trying to get as close as I can here. Maybe that was too much. I meant to put 1 drop in there, but I'll give that a stir around. And then I want to tape this off. Anytime you're putting tape on a guitar, you want to be using this blue painter's tape. If you've seen my channel before, then you've seen me use it many times. So I'm going to put a little dab on there of acetone in color. And that'll eat away the finish and sort of prepare it for the super glue that I'm going to put on there. This one I just want to get rid of those cracks, or at least sort of make it so that the cracks aren't quite as visible. Next I'm going to be using this medium viscosity CA glue. I'm just going to put a drop on each one there. The more time you give that, the better. I'm actually going to give this 24 hours just because it's kind of a thick coat. If you just have a thin layer of super glue, it can be 2 hours. And I'm going to have to show you this twice because I actually went through the process, which starts with scraping it off, strip sanding, and then going to Micromesh pads to buff it out. And that got me to a point where I couldn't actually feel it, and it was nice and polished up, but I just wasn't happy with the color. So I decided to grab some of my wife's nail polish and just test it on this little section here to see if it matched. And so in terms of color, this red is actually a really good match. So what I've been doing is just scraping out this dent here because I'm going to redo it. So what I'm going to do is just scrape that out and then put some color in there and then redo the super glue technique. So we'll just see how that works out. So right now I filled it with that nail polish, and it actually matches the color pretty close. I mean, it's not perfect, but the feel of it is off. There's a big dent in there, which is what I want. I want this to be a dent because what I'm going to do is fill it with super glue just so it's sticking up a little bit. That way I can scrape it down, and with this super glue, this medium viscosity super glue, this will actually create basically a poly finish. So when I'm done, it'll be shined up like that, and it won't disappear completely, but I'll go through the process here with you. So at this point I put this nail polish underneath, Sinful Colors, and then I put the glue on top, and that's sort of created a bubble over here, so it's sticking above, and we want to scrape that just so it's not quite flush, so it's just sticking up a little bit. So we're going to be making sort of a reference tool wood scraper out of this X-Acto blade that I've cut in half. If you have a little square one, that's better, but this is just what I had laying around. And what we're going to be doing is making a burr on the side. So if you've ever used a wood scraper, then you know it has that little burr on that. So I'm just going to run it along here. I'm going to do it down here, and that will create a little burr on the edge, so you can feel it with your finger when you touch it. This side it'll be smooth this way, and then there'll be a little burr that way. That'll scrape it off. So next thing we're going to be doing is putting some tape on it. I used to use masking tape, but Scotch tape's actually works better. It has a little bit more slip to it, and basically what you're doing is making a reference tool, sort of like the idea of the fret kisser tool, and it's a good idea to mark which side it has the burr on it. I'm just going to go by feel, and you're going to put this on either side, and that's going to help it to run along the top of the finish without going too far. Making sure that you've covered up this sharp edge here. So you have a little spot in the middle, and you can run this along to scrape this. which, okay, I did forget which side my burr is. It's on this side. Now, I actually learned this trick from screwing up a kid's classical guitar. His mom brought it to me for a restring, and I was just about done, and I wanted to make the whine look just a little bit better, so I tried to pull it tight with my pliers and ended up gouging a big gouge in there. And I was living on Salt Spring Island at the time, so in order to get the supplies that I needed to fix it, I had to go all the way into Victoria on the ferry, and luckily I learned this technique along the way, which has served me very well over the years. So scrape that until it's just sticking up a little bit. So I actually added another piece of tape there just because it is on an angle, so I wanted to make this a little bit thinner than I would if I was doing, say, a flat surface. So then we're going to be doing some strip sanding. So this is a 400 grit, just a little strip of sandpaper, and you put your finger on it and just pull it. So not very much pressure downward, and you want to go by feel. So once that feels like it's flat, then you can move on to the 600 and the 800, and you want to make sure that you're going in different directions. So I'm just sort of going by feel here. Like once it feels good, then I'm going to move on to my next thing, which is Micromesh pads. Now these are something that you can get at things like Lee Valley, any like fancy woodworking store, and basically it's like really fine sandpaper. So you've got 1500, 1800, I like to get them in order before I start, 2400, 2600, all the way up to 12,000 grit. Now that 12,000 grit kind of feels like leather, and that's what will give you the nice shine at the end. So I'm going to use some soap and water as lubricant, and then I'm going to go from 1500 all the way up to 12,000. So I've got my soapy water here, and going to get this nice good and wet. And then what I like to do is start really small. So I sort of just start with like a little corner there, because eventually as I go through, I get bigger and bigger and bigger, because you kind of want to feather out the edge. So it takes a little bit of time. You kind of have to have some patience for this. And then wipe away the excess water with your blue shop cloth. And just work your way up in the numbers until the 12,000 basically, as you go two at a time. So as you can see, once you polish up that super glue, it just basically acts as a poly, and you know, this isn't perfect. I might have to go nail polish shopping. Maybe the Sinful colors, it's not quite the right red, and obviously the grains disappear in here too. But I mean, in terms of the feel, it, you know, you can't feel it, which is very important when you're playing on the neck, and at a quick glance you can't really see it. You know, I'm happy enough with that. I might, like I said, I'm going to keep my eyes out for some good colors in the nail polish section. So there you go. It doesn't actually require that much skill to do, but it's a very useful thing to know, because you can apply that to other areas on finished jobs. Like say you have a scratch, you can, you know, depending on how deep it is, you can either fill it with the super glue and then use that technique, or you can, if it's just a buckle rash type scratch, you can, you know, go down with the Micromesh and then back up. Maybe that's a topic for another video. Drop me a comment below if you want to see some more of that kind of thing. And if you want more sort of entry-level guitar repair stuff, you're a guitar player who wants to learn more about fixing your own instrument and not having to spend a ton of money to get a perfect setup, well, I've got two sort of entry-level things. If you want to get into level crowning and polishing your frets, then you can download my course, Foolproof Fretwork, in the description below. Follow the link, put in your email, and I've got a playlist that I put on YouTube called Guitar Wiring for Beginners if you want to dive into some very foundational knowledge for guitar wiring, and there's a cheat sheet that goes along with it that'll save you a ton of time. So go in the description below, you can check those out. Give this a thumbs up if you found it useful, and that's all for now. I'll see you next week.